In this video, I'm revealing my entire commercial construction leads playbook. By the end of this video, you'll have a master's degree in getting commercial construction leads so you can get results just like this.
So before I started with you, I had about $600,000 in contracted work, and now we are just shy of 7 million just a few months later.
I'll show you how to build a system of leads on autopilot so you'll never run out of projects again. Now, let's get to it. There are tons of ways to get commercial construction leads, but my job is to get you the best results as fast as humanly possible. So I'm giving you my go-to playbook. Number one, this method is called the master list strategy. Actually, back in the day when I was a project manager, I was working for a commercial construction company and I was trying to figure out a way to drum up more business. And we had a CRM that would track all of our leads, all of our clients, and it showed everybody who we had submitted a proposal at some point. So I went down the list and I went kind of like cold calling each one, trying to reconnect. I think I went through like 20 phone calls before I run into a company called By His Grace Construction. And I'm a Christian, and when you hear the term by His grace, it's usually a Christian company. So I'm like, maybe a miracle will come out of this. So I called and I spoke to the secretary and I said, we've submitted proposals to you at some point in the past, and I know it's been a while, and I wanted to see if you guys had any projects coming up. And then she said, hey, I'll forward your information to the project management team, and if they're interested, they'll call you. So that night I get an email from one of their project managers named JC, and he says, I started our demo for a major renovation in Miami Beach. It's a 7-story hotel, an old hotel, and I don't have a framing and drywall contract. Can you give me a bid ASAP? And I said, of course. So I prepared the estimate, I walked the job. Within a week, we had a $350,000 contract. And that's when I figured out the power of working your list. By the way, I teach the master list strategy along with a bunch of other lead generation tactics and methods inside of my Construction Sales Academy. Right now, we're offering a free trial to join. So if you're interested, I'm gonna put a link right over here, and I'm also gonna put it in the description below. All right, so now whenever I sign on a new client, the very first thing I have them do is the master list. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go through our email, and we're gonna go through our phones, and we're gonna write down everybody's contact info that you've ever worked with in the past. Sometimes they're project managers, so sometimes they're superintendents, sometimes they're people from the office, anybody that could lead you to the right person. And essentially what we're doing is we're making a master list of hot prospects. Now, if you're techie and you have a CRM and you're using all this, great, put it in your CRM. But Excel is all you need. So you're gonna go to Excel, you're gonna put all this information, and this is gonna be the beginning of your list. Actually, my client, Matt, the one that I was just talking about earlier, what he did was he writes down everybody on his phone. If you're anything like me, you probably have people labeled with like their trade. Like, if in my phone, I can literally open it up and it's like John Smith plumber, Pedro Vargas demo company, and I can literally like find the people like that. So probably if you have any sort of like naming convention, you probably have something like that. Anyway, so Matt went through a whole weekend, he made his list, and then that Monday he told me he started calling, and he's just used the same script. Hey, do you have any projects? Hey, do you have any projects? Hey, I want to reconnect with you. Hey, I want to reconnect with you, because that's part of the strategy. That landed him 5 hot projects. Now, once you go through your whole list and you squeeze all the juice, we need to start reaching out to new clients. So what are we gonna do next? Very next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna click like and subscribe so you can get notified of more videos just like this. But next we're gonna talk about a method that I call instant leads. All right, instant leads. Imagine if you were to instantly find out about jobs that are going on in your area. And imagine if somebody were to give you all the contact information that you needed to win those jobs. Let me introduce you to public lead platforms. These are companies like Dodge, the Blue Book, ConstructConnect. These are companies that publish construction project data, and they give you access to the jobs, the contact information, and sometimes even the plans. It's a great way to get wind of the projects that are happening in your area, and it's a great way to connect with new clients. All right, so this is Dodge. Dodge Construction Network is one of the lead platforms, the public ones. So they all pretty much work the same. Dodge, Blue Book, ConstructConnect, PlanHub, they all have an interface just like this. They have on the left some filters, on the middle or on the right, they have all the jobs. So I'm just gonna give you a quick little preview. If I wanna find projects, I'm in Miami. So let's find some projects in Miami. I wanna find, let's go to Florida. I wanna go to Miami-Dade County. So let's put Miami-Dade, maybe it's under Dade, and then Broward is pretty close to me. And let's just do those. So I wanna do that. And then the trick is you go through the left column. And you just go down the filter. So I'm gonna find jobs. Let's say I'm a subcontractor. I'm looking for jobs that are bidding. Project type, I want only private jobs. Actually, I'm gonna skip this part. Bidding. Oh, you know what? This is a little trick. Those of you guys that are using this. You check these boxes right here. Check, check, and then you don't check these. So those of you guys that are doing like typical subcontractor and GC trades and stuff like that. Then we're gonna keep scrolling and we're gonna go to valuation. Depending on the size of the job, typically, if you're a subcontractor, get 10% of the contract valuation, and that's approximately, give or take, where you might come in. Maybe you might be at 8%. So if I'm a smaller guy, I'm gonna stick to valuations like, I don't know, 200, like 2 million and less. If I'm a bigger guy, like 3 million. If I'm a bigger guy, I might do like 10 million. Let's just do 2 million and see what we get. Construction type, we want, we'll leave it open. Ownership type, private. So I can come and do all these filters, and I can see that bidding in the next 30 days in my area of my perfect type of project that I filtered, we got 10 jobs. And in the last 90 days, and a lot of times these jobs have not been awarded, I can go back and call 96 companies and be like, hey, can I bid your job? Hey, I'm interested in working with you. Hey, I'm interested in working with you. So the strategy here is you're gonna go here to plan holders, and you're gonna see, and again, all these platforms have the same thing, and you're gonna see the general contractor in this case. But if I wanna see the companies, I can see the architect, I can see the owner. So if I'm a GC, I'm calling up the owner, I'm calling up the architect. If I'm a subcontractor, I'm calling up the GC. And this is the process essentially that you're gonna take to find projects. So this is Dodge. They all work the same. They all have the same features. A lot of the times the projects even overlap. If you have ConstructConnect and PlanHub and Blue Book and all these, they kind of have, in a lot of cases, a lot of the same jobs overlapping. Not always, but sometimes. If you go this route, you really only need one. So you don't need to go buy a bunch of subscriptions to all these things. And now for the absolute most powerful way to build a sustainable, long-term, $1 million business is what I call private leads. I love the lead platforms, but the problem is everybody's seeing the same jobs. What if you can get on a private bid list and have access to jobs that only a handful of people are seeing? Most general contractors and most architecture firms are not even using the public platforms. They're using private software like Procore, Pantera tools. They're even using Dropbox. They're using old school email. And most clients are typically requesting proposals about 3 to 5 times per month. So if you do it the old school way, and it's funny because I always talk about, like, if we didn't have phones and we didn't have technology and email, how would you do your sales? You would go visit in person. And that's the absolute most powerful thing you can do in construction sales, because we're asking people to give us hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars in contracts. We're not going to do it through email, and we're not going to do it through the phone. You got to do it in person. So let's do the math. If you get on 100 bid lists, let's assume half of them are overlapping jobs and they're bidding the same projects. You're looking at least 150 to 200 jobs to choose from. And not only that, they are not being published on public platforms. So only a small group of contractors are the ones that are going to be seeing this job. So instead of having 20 competitors, you might have 3. Better, right? So that means you have a way bigger chance to win that project. This is actually the preferred method that we use, that my team uses, my lead generation team, for our clients when we're doing our prospecting. By the way, if you're interested in my team linking up with you and maybe doing your leads and estimating, I'm gonna put a link over here, and I'm gonna also put it in the description where you can set up a call and we can see if it's a good fit. And who knows, maybe we can do your leads and maybe even your estimating for you. So what's the process? How do we get on these private bid lists? We're gonna use 3 directories. Number 1, we're gonna use Procore Network. Number 2, we're gonna use the Blue Book directory, the free version. And number 3, we're gonna use Google Maps. All right, this is Procore Network. We're gonna go to procore.com/network. I'm gonna show you using this method, but the process is the same whether we use Procore, whether we use Google Maps, or whether we're using the Blue Book directory. So Procore, you're gonna go to this search tab, and you're gonna put, let's say I am a drywall contractor searching for a general contractor. Actually, I'll do both examples. So I'm gonna look up general. Of course, I don't know how to type in the in the video, general contractor. And then I want to find it in Miami. Boom. And then it's gonna load. And then one of the little tricks I figured out, that if you click right over here under general contractors, boom. Right now it's found within 25 miles of Miami, 367 potential clients that we can get on their bid list. And I freaking guarantee that every single one of these guys has a bid list. So I want you to see the power in this. If we were to invest this year, like if you were to sit there this year and call general contractor 1, and then you call this guy, look, Decima, then you call Giovanni general contractor, then you call this guy, Trident, CBI, Sharp, you just sit there, boom, 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 and you do it consistently. Now, I'm not saying stay here for 5 hours and just like a crazy person. Every week, sit for an hour and call, boom, boom, boom. You can even have a virtual assistant do this. You can have an assistant in your office do this. Hey, can I get on your bid list? Sure, here's the pre-qualification paperwork, boom. And you're gonna be able to get bids from all these guys. Now, some of them are gonna do things you don't do, and it doesn't, we discount those, but the point is that we have 367. Let's pull out the calculator. Imagine if every one of those, boom, 367, let's say 80% are good fits for you. And let's say each one of them bids, I don't know, 3 jobs. 3 jobs a month. And then let's say half of them are overlapping jobs. We have 400 and something projects to choose from. You'll never, ever be able to bid 400 jobs. Never. Like, I don't know not one construction company that bids 400 projects a year. Never. Or not in a year, a month. I don't know anybody that does that, or not, I don't even know many that can do that per year. Anyways, so the strategy is you're gonna go, actually this is how you do it. You go right click open, right click open, right click open, right click open. This is a trick I figured out. And you're gonna come in here and here's the phone number, boom. And then here you go to here, boom, phone number. Actually, this is the same guy, so we'll go to here, boom. So the script is very simple. I prefer to do this in person. So ideally, you're gonna wanna actually drive to their office, go visit them, just do this cold. Don't make a meeting ahead of time because they're always gonna be busy. But essentially, you're gonna walk in and you're gonna say, hi, my name is Daniel. I'm a drywall contractor, or I'm a general contractor, and I was in the area and I wanted to meet you guys. Who would be the right person to speak to get started working with you? And then the secretary or office manager is gonna say, hey, look, John is the estimator, John is the project manager. Why don't you talk to him? You're gonna have a few minutes of small talk, exchange business cards, and boom, you're gonna leave. Make sure you always use the language of like, I was in the area really quick, 5 minutes, because these guys are busy and they don't have time to sit there for a 45-minute meeting that wasn't planned. So very brief about it. And what that's gonna do is human beings need that nonverbal. You're asking these guys for $1 million contracts or hundreds of thousands of dollar contracts, and we need to make sure that they can trust us. Fastest way to get trust is in person. So the only way to do it is by scheduling yourself. You're a busy contractor. I know you have 45,000 things going on. You have job site meetings, you have walkthroughs, you have estimating, you have to run your company, you have accounting, you have billing, you have all these things going on. I understand. And what happens is if you do not schedule your prospecting, you're gonna put that as the last thing if you have time. And guess what? You never have time because you're always fighting fires. You're basically a fireman in the job site trying to get through your day, and you're gonna always put your sales on the back end. So schedule yourself in person once a week, a half a day, and make a list. Hey, I'm gonna visit these 4 clients, I'm gonna visit these 5, and I'm gonna go in person. By the way, I teach all of this and more inside of my Construction Sales Academy, where we have a community of over 500 general contractors and subcontractor entrepreneurs that are growing their businesses. And I wanna invite you to join our training program. If you wanna learn how to scale your business and you wanna be part of the community and you wanna join the group coaching calls and you want access to my full training where I cover all of this in depth, click the link above, and I'm gonna also put it in the description. Right now, we're giving a free trial at the time of this recording, a free trial, so you can join, try it before you buy, or before you sign up. All right, so now that you are a master at leads, in the very next video, I'm gonna teach you how to convert those leads into lifetime repeat clients that are gonna be responsible for multiple millions of dollars over the next several years. Leads don't mean anything unless you know what to do with them. So in the next video, I'm gonna teach you how to scale your business into the multiple millions.